Yes, good evening and welcome everyone representing USA, Canada, International, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, host with the most, misunderstood lonely nomad, independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you're rocking and hanging out with the 54th episode of the Sports Edition show of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Live and direct from StreamYard along with YouTube and alongside of myself is the Instagram live feed. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you can be in the know on when each episode is going to be dropping. And it's every Wednesday and Thursday when the episode is going to be dropping. So there you have it right there. Now, if you're new to the YouTube channel and you missed any previous episodes whatsoever, please feel free to go ahead and do some catching up. And while you're at it, grab that subscribe button for me on the YouTube sports channel page of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Tap the naughty bell so you can be reminded of when the show goes in the air via live stream alongside with the reminder of the time the recording starts. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, whatsoever. In case you miss any of the episodes as far as the sports topics. Be sure to listen, stream, share the episodes, rate. Don't forget to rate 5 stars. And of course, don't forget to tell a friend to another friend. Share the episodes, share the videos, and I will handle the rest on where you can actually listen to the episodes at the end of the show. All right. Now, without further ado, we're going to start things off with the quick side bleacher bar, and this is pertaining to Kyrie Irving and the anti-Semitic stuff as far as the Twitter link, as far as the old movie. We'll get into it right now, man. All right. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's what we have here. All right, and this is according to People magazine. This is more of a recap from a year ago, like 2 months ago. So after a week of backlash and getting suspended by the Brooklyn Nets on Thursday, Kyrie Irving has apologized for promoting an anti-Semitic film on Twitter. The NBA superstar, age 30, released a statement to social media early Friday morning addressed to all Jewish families and communities that were hurt by his actions. I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize, Irving wrote. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti Semitic instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary. On October 27th, Kyrie tweeted a link promoting a 2018 movie based on the 2014 book Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. The film was originally written as a book by Ronald Dalton in 2014 and includes several anti-Semitic tropes and stereotypes, according to Rolling Stone. Hmm. Yeah. 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 Being anti-Semitic is not okay, man. That is not okay. You know what I mean? And you think Jewish people are only white? No. There's also there's also people who are African American that's also Jewish as well. So it's like, don't get it twisted. Anyway, it features extreme views of Black Hebrew Israelites who argue that Black people are the only true descendants of ancient Israelites. The Southern Poverty Law Center reports that the radical Hebrew Israelites perpe- perpetuate perpetuate the anti-Semitic belief that so-called Jews have stolen their identity and birthright, while the Anti-Defamation League notes that the movement includes organizations that operate semi-independently and not all are anti-Semitic. I want to clarify any conclusion on where I stand fighting against anti Semitism by apologizing for posting the documentary without context and a factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary. I agree with I agree with and disagreed with, Irving explained. I had no intentions to disrespect any Jewish cultural history regarding the Holocaust or perpetrate any hate. I am learning from this unfortunate event and hope we can find understanding between us all. Irving elaborated, adding that he's no different than any other human being and is a seeker of truth and knowledge. Earlier in his statement, he shared that he takes full accountability and responsibility and responsibly for my actions. A statement, a sentiment he previously shared this week in a statement released in conjunction with the Nets organization. I am grateful to have a big platform to share knowledge, and I want to move forward by having an open dialogue to learn more and grow from it. No, grow from this. Okay, listen. Before I continue, let me just say this though. Some people were saying that his apology wasn't really sincere, and 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 I may have to agree with certain individuals, including Harvey Levin from TMZ, because he felt like because I guess the way Irving was deflecting the question and basically putting on an act and pretending that the Holocaust didn't exist. That to me is just that to me is just grimy right there, man. And and I'm like, and this is the same guy in which he said the same exact statement, him and Bob saying that the earth was flat. When in reality, the earth is round. Why is the earth is round? Because it rotates around the fucking sun, you dumbass. Yeah. Yeah. You get the gist. Um um okay, so the organization shared that Kyrie refused to unequivocal, un- unequivocally say he has no anti-Semitic beliefs. dating during a Thursday media call, and because of that, he felt he was currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that addresses the harmful impact of his conduct. And the suspension period served is no less than 5 games. The Nets wrote. The backlash from Irving's tweet also saw um, NBA legends and fans alike expressing their disapproval with the wearing fight anti-Semitism shirts as they sat courtside at the Nets game on Monday night. Irving has since deleted his tweet. Charles Barkley said on Inside the NBA that he thought Irving should have been suspended. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver announced Thursday that he will be meeting with Irving later this week. Kyrie Irving made a reckless decision to post a link to a film containing deeply offensive anti-Semitic material, Silver said. This is really, really, really crazy right here, man. So, oh my gosh. So, man, hold on a minute here. Hold on a minute here. I want to actually get the right. This is what I was looking for right here. Hang on a second before I get to that. Get that out of there. Okay. Okay. While we appreciate the fact that he agreed to work with the Brooklyn Nets and the Anti Defamation League to combat anti Semitism and other forms of discrimination, I am disappointed that he has not offered an unqualified apology and more specifically denounced the vile and harmful content contained in the film he chose to publicize. Okay. And there was more bad news in terms of what and Charles Barkley, let's get to him. And during the latest episode of TNT's Inside the NBA, Barkley got heated and said the league dropped the ball in how it responded to the Nets players' controversial Twitter post. Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal had a lot to say after Kyrie Irving was recently criticized for sharing a link to a documentary that features anti-Semitic tropes. During TNT's Inside the NBA on Tuesday, and the analysis shared their thoughts about the Brooklyn Nets star, tweeting a link to the 2018 film Hebrews 2 Negroes Wake Up Black America on Thursday in a post that has since been deleted. The following day, Nets owner Joe Tsai tweeted his disappointment that the player appears to support a film based on a book full of anti-Semitic disinformation. Bartley told viewers that NBA and Commissioner Adam Silver dropped the ball on his handling of Irving's situation. First of all, Adam's Jewish, Barkley said. He then referenced the nearly $37 million that Irving will reportedly earn for this season. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion. Hmm. Yeah, that right there had to really be okay. Oh man. So if you are gonna insult me, you have the right. But I have the right to say, no, you are not going to take my $40 million and insult my religion. I think the NBA they made a mistake. The Hall of Fame the Hall of Fame player continued. We have suspended people and fined people who have made homophobic slurs, and that was the right thing to do. I think if you insult the black community, you should be suspended or fined heavily. I saw they did the same thing to the kid Anthony Edwards in Minnesota this year when he made the gay slur. I think you should get suspended or fined. Barkley went on to say that Irving should have been reprimanded for his previous post earlier this year, promoting decades old footage of Alex Jones discussing secret societies. I can't believe that we ain't talking about basketball. We're talking about this idiot, Barkley. And Barkley said of Irving, I blame the NBA. Oh, man. Yeah. That right there, you can tell that he was heated. You can tell he was heated, man. Yeah. Okay. So, um, let me see. Where was I? So, after host Ernie Johnson said that conversations are still taking place about how to move forward from this, Barkley appeared to get heated and said that the NBA waited too long to act. The reason it's too late, the NBA is giving in to peer pressure, Barkley continued. If one of our players do something, the team or the league has to do something immediately. If you just give in to peer pressure, that's the problem I have. This should have been handled already. Additionally, co-host O'Neill said that not everyone is conscious about how such public messages can impact others. I could tell he's not conscious. He doesn't really care what's going on, O'Neill said about Irving. It hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done. I stand for equality of all people. Yeah. Yeah, I would actually agree with this. I would actually agree with this right here. You know what I mean? All right, let me see who just came into the chat. Shout outs to Pick Six with Noah and Nick. They have their podcast. Make sure you check it out on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast from. Thank you for viewing this. And oh man. So let's see. What else? What else? Yes. During a tense press conference, Saturday, Irving appeared to double down on his support of the film. I'm not going to stand down on anything I believe in, said Irving, who starred in the 2018 Lionsgate comedy Uncle Drew. I'm only going to get stronger because I'm not alone. I have a whole army around me. In a statement issued Saturday, the NBA said that hate speech is unacceptable, but did not directly name Irving. On Wednesday, Irving and the Nets said in a joint statement that they will each donate $500,000 to causes and organizations that strive to eliminate hate in the community, and that this will involve working with the Anti Defamation League. In the statement, Irving said in part, I am aware of the negative impact of my post towards the Jewish community, and I take responsibility. Okay. But yeah. And also, by the way, Nike cut ties with his ass too. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And this is from clutchpoints.com. Another domino has fallen for Kyrie Irving. And Nike has officially cut ties with the Brooklyn Nets star per Shams Charania of the Athletic and Stadium, making him a sneaker free agent. Nike previously suspended its relationship with Irving in November and announced it wouldn't be releasing the Kyrie 8. The company released this statement after that initial decision. At Nike, we believe there's no place for hate speech, and we condemn any form of anti-Semitism. We are deeply saddened and disappointed by the situation and its impact on everyone. Oof, oof. Ain't this about a bitch? Yeah, yeah, I would do that too. So anyway, um, yes, so the Kyrie 8s were expected to be launched in November, but that never happened after Kyrie Irving was put under serious scrutiny for refusing to apologize for his promotion of an anti Semitic film. The Nets suspended him after he failed to apologize for his actions while being combative in the media when asked about it. Irving wound up serving an 8-game suspension and was reinstated on November 20th after fulfilling a list of demands made by the team. Wow. Well, time to learn a lesson though, man. In other Brooklyn Nets news, unfortunately, Steve Nash has left. Steve Nash has left. Steve Nash is out as head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, the team announced Tuesday. Speaking before Tuesday night's game against the Chicago Bulls, Nets general manager Sean Marks said that both he and Nash thought this was the right time to make a move and acknowledged that the pair of friends knew this situation probably would be made sooner rather than later, especially after Brooklyn struggled to a 2-5 start under Nash. Oh my gosh. That really sucks right here, man. If you catch my drift. Yeah. We both felt this was time, Mark said. It was certainly trending in that way, and to be quite frank, the team was not doing what it was supposed to be doing. We've fallen from our goals of meeting our goals, and it was time now because we still have lofty aspirations of where we need to get to. In a statement, Nash thanked Marks and team ownership for an amazing experience with many challenges that I'm incredibly grateful for. Um, what became incredibly apparent since the second half of last season was just how frustrated Nash was with the constant constant drama surrounding his team off the floor. Last season, it was Kyrie Irving's decision not to get vaccinated against COVID-19 that hung over the organization. This season, it's been Irving's social media post promoting a book and a movie with anti-Semitic ideals. Yeah. Oh man, let me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me get another one, another car crash sound to make my point even clearer. Okay. All right. Oh man. Okay. Nash has certainly not had an even playing field over 2.5 years here, Mark said. And for that, I certainly feel some responsibility because this does not fall on him. I take a great deal of responsibility in creating the roster, hiring staff, bringing people in, whether that's free agency or the draft. What you have. Suspended Boston Celtics coach um Ime Udoka has emerged as the likely next Nets head coach, and his hiring could be finalized as soon as the next 24 to 48 hours. Sources told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski the Celtics would let Udoka leave for another job. Sources said the hope is that Udoka can tighten the nets defensively and command the respect of the franchise's key players. Udoka spent a season on Nash's staff before accepting the Celtics job and winning the Eastern Conference. Udoka's time in Boston was essentially over after being given a 1 year suspension for having an improper workspace relationship with a female subordinate. Hmm. This is what happens. Oh man. Oh man. anyway, anyway, assistant coach Jacques Vaughn was the acting head coach Tuesday against the Bulls, a game that the Nets lost
108-99 to fall to 2-6. Kevin Durant had 32 points and 9 rebounds, but Irving managed only 4 points on 2 for 12 shooting. He missed all 6 3-point attempts. In his pregame news conference Tuesday, Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr called Nash a hell of a coach and noted how his exit is a good reminder of how important overall team environments are to successful coaching. I'm really lucky, Kerr said. You throw me in that situation, I wouldn't have done any better than Nash. A first time head coach, Nash was hired by the Nets in 2020 to replace Kenny Atkinson a year after Durant and Irving signed with the team. While a squad led by a Hall of Fame former player who had previously worked with Durant in Golden State seemed like a recipe for success. The Nets never reached the lofty goal set for the team under Nash. Um, Brooklyn made the playoffs in each of Nash's 2 full seasons, but won only one series. Injuries and mega trades were cons- cons- constants during Nash's tenure as the team acquired James Harden in the 2020 to 2020 to 21 season and had traded him last season in a move that brought in Ben Simmons. Simmons didn't make his Nets debut until this season, while neither Durant nor Irving have played 60 games in the season since signing in Brooklyn because of injuries, and in Irving's case, his decision to not get vaccinated. This past offseason, the Nets dealt with trade requests from both Irving and Durant. A viable trade didn't emerge for Irving, and in August meeting with owner Joe Tsai in London, sources confirmed to ESPN that Durant asked Tsai to choose between him and the brain trust of Nash and Marks. While both men were retained and Durant eventually relented on his trade demand, Nash's time in Brooklyn is now over. In Nash's first season, the Nets with Harden earned the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, but injuries to Harden and Irving contributed to the team's 7 games second round exit at the hands of the eventual champion Milwaukee Bucks. Entering last season, the Nets were again expected to be one of the East best teams, but Harden was sent to Philadelphia and Irving was limited to just 29 regular seasons after choosing to not get vaccinated. Brooklyn was swept in the first round by Boston. All right. And speaking of Kevin Durant, all right. Speaking of Kevin Durant, uh, that's why, of course. While most NBA fans are not surprised Steve Nash did not finish the season in Brooklyn, given his tumultuous tenure as Nets head coach, star Kevin Durant said he was shocked when he found out about Nash's exit. Durant and Nash had a complicated history together in Brooklyn as Nash was facing severe criticism in last season's playoffs. Durant publicly backed his coach, telling reporters that Nash was the right person to lead the team. Months later, Durant put in a trade request and reportedly gave owner Joe Tsai an ultimatum. He would return to the team only if Nash and general manager Sean Marks were fired. The Nets did not trade Durant and stood by their employees, but in the end, Nash lasted another 7 games. Damn, that sucks, man. That has to really, really, really suck, man. That has to be that has to suck, man. I'm sorry. um, yeah. I don't know, man. That has to suck right there, though. Yeah. can't even imagine. And I'll fill you in on that. Okay, so let me see. After Tuesday's loss to the Bulls, Kevin Durant said, all right, he already read that part. Yeah, I already read that part though. Durant said he was shocked by the news and went on to say he enjoyed coming to work with Nash as the head coach. You are always shocked when a move like this happens, but it's normal in the NBA. We had a tough start. It was a rocky year last year, rocky summer. We knew that everybody was being evaluated. That's just how it is in the league. I like working with Steve. I like working with the coaching staff. It was a roller coaster the last few years, but the core of it, basketball, is something that we all love to do. So that's basically what he says. Okay, so TJ Warren. TJ Warren, right? Hold on, hold on. All right, TJ Warren. What the hell? Oh shit. Wait. What the hell? No. Okay, TJ Warren. Oh my gosh. What did I do? Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. TJ Warren 2023. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Okay, TJ Warren. Okay, so the Nets have been looking for any help they can get as Kevin Durant recovers from a right MCL sprain. But they were without one more scorer Saturday. In addition to missing Ben Simmons, who was out with what the team called left knee soreness, TJ Warren sat with a left shin contusion he sustained Thursday in a loss of the Pistons. Holy shit. That can't be good. That cannot be good. That's crazy. Hold on a minute. That cannot be good. Hold on a minute. All right. Okay. All right, there's more to this actually. There's more to this. Warren is day-to-day head coach Jacques Vaughn said before the Nets beat the Knicks 122 to 115 at Barclays Center. Warren exited the game Thursday in the fourth quarter after logging 15 minutes, during the last of which he was hobbling. It was unclear when Warren sustained the injury, but after initially announcing it as a knee issue, the Nets said his shin had been hit. Damn. Yeah. Um, oh man. Following the January 8th injury to Durant, Warren had looked like a prime candidate to take on a greater scoring load. He scored 20 points in the Nets' first game without Durant, a January 12th loss to the Celtics. But recently, the wing, who had played just 4 games in the past 2 seasons because of foot surgeries, had only been playing in sports. Warren has not been strong defensively, and the Nets defense was a large problem in the first 8 games without Durant, of which they lost 6. For a moment Saturday, the Nets feared they would be severely short on big men. Backup center Day'Ron Sharpe, who had been unavailable for 2 straight games with a lower back issue, came down hard on his back Saturday and remained on the court for a moment. But he returned to his feet and stayed in the game. Good response from him, Vaughn said. It's amazing. Out of all the falls and injuries, he comes in with a little bit of a sore back and falls on his back. For him to pop up, be ready to continue to play shows a lot. Without Durant and Simmons, Joe Harris and Seth Curry moved into the starting lineup, joining Kyrie Irving, Royce O'Neal, and Nick Claxton. Harris, 6 for 9, 4 for 7 from 3-point range, scored 16 points. Curry, 14 points, 5 for 9 shooting, returned to the lineup after missing the game Thursday with right knee soreness. Guard Edmund Sumner, who sustained left Achilles soreness Thursday, the same Achilles that required surgery that kept him out of the NBA last season, played and scored 6 points with 2 assists. Well, okay, that takes care of that. Now Aaron Estrada. Okay, so Charleston, South Carolina, where Charlemagne the God is from. Aaron Charter scored 25 points, and Darling Stone Dubar added 18 as Hofstra ended number 18 College of Charleston's 20-game win streak with an 85-81 victory on Saturday. The Pride, 15-8, 8-2 Colonial Athletic Association were down 28-20 early before rallying past the Cougars. Oh man. The Cougars, oh wow. Oh man. Who had not lost since falling to then number 1 North Carolina on November 11th. Hofstra, the CAA's leader in field goal shooting, used that to move past Charleston in the second half as it made 18 of 32 attempts. The Pride led 76-69 with 6:10 to play before the Cougars cut it to 2 points on Ryan Lawson's foul shots with 2:02 to play. But Charleston managed just 2 free throws after that and missed all 4 3-pointers they tried. Estrada, who had 23 points in the first half, finished with 5 of Hofstra's 11 threes. Let's see. The Cougars got off to a quick start, scoring on their first 3 possessions of the game. Rain Smith's layup gave Charleston its biggest lead of the first half, 28-20, with 7:02 to play before intermission. Then it became the Estrada show. Estrada, the CAA's leading scorer at 21.1 points a game, scored 16 of the next 24 points for the Pride, including 4 threes. Tyler Tyler Thomas had 17 points and 8 rebounds for Hofstra. Ante Brzovic finished with 18 points to lead Charleston. Okay, big picture. Hofstra, the Pride, are on the road in 2023, winning 7 of their past 8 games, including 3 in a row. College of Charleston, the Cougars' chances of receiving an NCAA tournament at large bid took a major blow with the loss of the Pride. Despite having the nation's longest win streak for 3 months, Charleston will most likely have to win the CAA tournament in March to advance to the NCAAs. Well, Hofstra returns home to play Townsend on Thursday night. College of Charleston starts a 2-game road trip at Drexel on Thursday night. Okay, let's see. Up next, what we have here is okay, we got a rumor in the air. About a particular baseball player that we need to get to. So, the last month of frenzied Mets signings and moves could just be a scintillating appetizer for next offseason. Los Angeles Angel dual superstar Shohei Ohtani will be a free agent following the 2023 season, and all signs point to him departing Anaheim. Whether it's at the trade deadline or in free agency, he could be available in both transaction periods. We could see one of the most robust manic markets for the 28-year-old. Simply put, Ohtani is a talent the game has never seen. Over the last 2 seasons, he slashed 265, 364, 554, .9118 OPS while averaging 40 home runs and 98 RBIs. On the mound during that same span, he's 24 and 11 with a 2.70 ERA, 1.046 whip, and an average of 11.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. Remarkably, he and Mike Trout still haven't been enough to help the Angels team contend for the playoffs, let alone a World Series. And it appears that it's beginning to grate on Ohtani. End quote. I have to say that August and September in particular felt longer to me than last year. Ohtani said back in October, we were not able to play as many good games as we would like, including 14 consecutive losses. So I have a rather negative impression of the season. It's only natural that Ohtani wants to play meaningful baseball in October, which will likely be the driving force behind a potential departure from the Angels. Of course, the prospect of a history-making payday will also play a role. Needless to say, the Mets continue to lurk. New York's general manager Billy Appler signed Ohtani to the Angels back in December of 2017, and reportedly checked in about a potential trade during the 2022 season. On Thursday, Andy Martino of SNY reported that the interest certainly remains. End quote. Let's put it this way. Do you think the Mets haven't already discussed a future that includes Shohei Ohtani? Martino wrote. The early feels is that the two-way phenom will be next winter's pursuit. How a contract like that fits into the Mets equation obviously remains to be seen. According to Fangraphs, they already have $215 million in guaranteed contracts on the books for 2024, and that's without the arbitration deals that await for the likes of Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil. Ooh. Okay. Okay, hold on a minute here. I gotta make some noise for when it comes to money. Okay, wait a minute here. Okay, all right. Granted, exceeding MLB's luxury tax threshold doesn't seem to be too much of an issue for owner Steve Cohen, who has racked up a 2023 payroll of well over $330 million. Wow, $330 million. That's a lot right here, man. Hold on. Sorry about the plane, folks. Anyway, okay, so a deal that could see Atani paid $50 million per year beginning in 2024 is a bill that the Mets wouldn't have much of an issue taking on. All right. Okay, in other baseball news, we haven't heard from David Wright. We have not heard from David Wright. Um okay, so so injuries rob baseball and the New York Mets of witnessing David Wright's full career and likely much consideration up in Cooperstown too. Following the election of Scott Rowland on Tuesday night, the former third baseman and Mets captain will make his debut on the Baseball Hall of Fame's class of 2024 ballot, where it's considered a long shot that he gets the necessary 75% approval of the Baseball Writers Association of America to get in. To unfairly put it, he simply doesn't have the overall body of work to garner the consideration needed to make a legitimate push. A brilliant start to his career was derailed by a fracture in his lower back suffered in 2011 that ultimately led to the diagnosis of spinal stenosis, 3 surgeries over a 2 year stretch, more than half a decade of attempting to will his team through ceaseless pain, appearing in just 44.8% of his team's games over an 8 year stretch from 2011 to 2018, and an all too early obligatory retirement 5 years ago. His career WAR of 49.2 would be the second lowest for a Hall of Fame position player appearing in a game after 1980. Of course, Harold Baines 38.8. His jaws developed by Jay Jaffe that contains a combination of career and 7-year peak wars. Of 44.3 is 11.4 points under the average mark for Hall of Fame third baseman. For reference, Rollins Jaws was 56.9, just above the average for Hall of Fame third baseman of 55.6. Okay, let me break. For those of you who may not know what that is, let's break this down on what that is. So let's break this down. Okay, is what is Jaws mean in baseball? Let's take a look at this. So basically, okay, so definition JAWS, which stands for Jaffe wins above replacement score, is a system created by Jay Jaffe that evaluates a player's worthiness for enshrinement in the National Baseball Hall of Fame by comparing him to the Hall of Famers at his position. Okay. All right. So that's what it stands for. So that's your better understanding for you sports people that's listening right now. So there it is right here. All right. Okay. Wait, where was I? Yes. Yes, for reference, Roland's Jaws was 56.9, just above the average for Hall of Fame third baseman of 55.6. Bill James, who developed a zero to 100 grading scale known as the Hall of Fame value standard, with 50 being the score for an average Hall of Famer, and is featured on Baseball Reference, has administered a score out of 36 to right. If only he had stayed healthy, um, over his first 6 full seasons in the majors, beginning from his first campaign of at least 502 plate appearances from 2009 to 2010. Wright was one of the elite third basemen in Major League Baseball. He slashed .306, 387, 515, 902 OPS with 155 home runs and 624 RBIs. That's an average of 26 home runs and 104 RBIs per season. Compare that to the 14 Hall of Fame third baseman that played in MLB, and Wright's start as a pro is comparable to most and even better than some. For stat keeping purposes, the first season of the first 6 full season stretch contained in the graph below must begin with the player's first year that featured at least 502 plate appearances. Yeah. So there you have it right there. Had Wright even been able to maintain anything close to his numbers from his first 11 seasons in the league from 2004 to 2014, that featured the beginning of his injury issues through the 2018 season and his retirement. His resume for the Hall of Fame is that much stronger. He would have possessed a projected career slash line of 298, 377, 494, 871 OPS, and with his annual averages over that 15-year stretch, would have ended his career with 325 hits, 315 home runs, and 1,275 RBIs. That batting average would rank 8th amongst the career stats of the Hall of Fame. No, excuse me, the Hall of Famers listed above. 7 in hits in home runs and ninth in RBIs. Okay, in other Mets news, actually, Billy Epler, Mets GM, general manager, Mets general manager wouldn't delve into how negotiations broke off with Carlos Correa, also known as the man who team owner Steve Cohen dubbed as the last big piece that would put the Queens club over the top in a quest for a World Series. Instead, he expressed plenty of confidence in the offense the Mets already possesses, a unit that finished fifth in runs scored and second in on base percentages last season, before eventually running out of gas over the final stretch to get bounced in disappointing fashion from the NL wildcard series. I think we have a strong and deep lineup, Epler said during Adam Ottavino and Alman Navarre's introductory press reference on Tuesday afternoon. I'm confident in our group's ability to score runs, but I think this goes without saying. You can always be better. That's kind of the purpose of making sure that you are not sitting in a fixed mindset and you kind of adopt more of a mindset or growth based mindset where you can always improve. That's what we're going to look to do. We have to look for opportunities out there. Sometimes certain markets are a little bit more quiet at certain times of the year. The Mets are still very much engaged in the fourth outfielder and relief pitching market to provide added depth to the roster, according to Epler. Behind Brandon Nimmo, Mark Hanna, and Starling Marte, the Mets brought in Tim LaCastro on a minor league deal as an option for added speed and defensive insurance, but he certainly wouldn't address the need for another bat that could potentially accumulate at bats at the designated hitter spot if needed. Adam Duvall and Tommy Pham remain notable fourth outfield options, but it certainly appears as though the Mets are going to enter 2023 with a similar offensive approach that isn't predicted on the long ball. While hitting three pointers is cool every now and again, and having guys that can put the ball in the seats, I want a lineup that's able to beat people in a number of different ways, Epler said. So having guys that can do and execute an offensive strategy that if manager Buck Showalter wants to execute a particular strategy or implement a particular strategy on any one given night or against any kind of particular pitcher, having hitters that can do that, I think provides value. I want to be able to beat anybody in any particular way. So I think that fits our scheme, our ballpark. So I think there are reasons that we should feel good about our offense. Where it's going to rank is where it's going to rank, but the components are there to have a successful offensive season. Well, man. And speaking of Tommy Pham, before I get to him, let me just make a shout out to somebody in the chat. Hold on. Okay, shout outs to the Fletcher twins. You can check out their podcast called A Picture is a Thousand Words podcast on Spotify and anywhere on streaming platforms where you get your podcast as well. All right, as well as my stuff too. So there you have it. So all right. So the team was finalizing a deal with free agent outfielder Tommy Pham for a 1 year and $6 million on Wednesday. The Post John Heyman reported. Ooh, $6 million, huh? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, wait. And their search for left-handed bullpen help is ongoing with Andrew Chafin and former Yankee Zach Britton, who played for Buck Showalter in Baltimore, among the possibilities. The 34-year-old Pham was one of few outfielders remaining on the free agent market after Adam Duvall agreed to a one-year, $7 million deal with the Reds on. Hold on, with the Red Sox on Wednesday. How about that though? How about that though, man? Um and um and okay, so let me see. Okay. So let's continue. Andrew McCutchen, another consideration um previously hang on a minute. Previously headed back to Pittsburgh. Jurickson Profar also remains available, but may be seeking a larger role. Pham is coming off last season. Pham is coming off a superb year, split between the Reds and Red Sox, and finished with a .686 OPS, his worst in the season, in the full season. He was better with the Padres in 2021. He made headlines last season when he walked up to Jock Peterson of the San Francisco Giants before a game and slapped the outfielder for what Pham called a feud over a fantasy football league the two were a part of. At the time of the incident, Pham was with the Reds and was pulled from the lineup that day. Oh my gosh. That can't be good. Yeah. No good. No good deed comes out of this what he just did. Oh my gosh. Um man, oh man, oh man.
Oh
Oh man. Um okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see what else. Okay. Okay, so afterwards, Pham expressed no regret. Regarding the Jock Peterson, I don't feel sorry for what I did, Pham said last year. There's a certain level of respect that. Hold on a minute here. Hold on. Okay, yeah, he says, yeah, regarding the Jock Peterson situation, um, I don't feel sorry for what I did, fam said last year. There's a certain level of respect that was crossed. Jock was dis- Jock was disrespectful, and I don't condone, you know, the way he was talking to me in the group chat through the text. I don't condone that. Peterson told reporters at the time it stemmed from Peterson being accused of cheating in the league. Fam said he dropped out of the league and also pointed a finger at the league's commissioner, right, Mike Trout. Oh my gosh. Really? Really? Damn, he really dropped the ball on this one. He really dropped the ball on this one. He really did. That to be put on blast like that though, man, that has to be very, very, very scary. I had to I had to say that's kind of crazy that he got put on blast like that. That right there. But it is what it is though, man. Like but I really have to play this. Yeah. um Yeah, so as for Fam's role in Queens, he'll likely be in a reserve outfielder role with Starling Marte, Mark Canna, and Brandon Nimmo already in place as starters. Darren Ruff is also on the bench as a potential right-handed DH, but he slumped badly after coming from the Giants in a trade last season, and Fam could be used there as well. The Mets also signed Tomas Nido to a $3.7 million deal, buying out the catcher's final 2 seasons of arbitration. Ooh, okay. Okay. All right. The 28-year-old caught 98 games last season and is expected to split time with recently signed Omar Narvaez, top prospect Francisco Alvarez, age 21, could also see time behind the plate this season after he made his MLB debut last year. Okay, let's see. Oh, another way to end this episode has to do with Al Leiter, Gary Cohen, um, and let's get to it. So, very last topic of the night has to do with the inductees. So here's what's happening here according to AMNY website. The New York Mets announced on Wednesday that former third baseman Howard Johnson, former pitcher Al Leiter, and broadcasters Gary Cohen and Howie Rose will be inducted into the team's Hall of Fame prior to a June 3rd game against the Toronto Blue Jays at Citi Field. End quote. It was an honor informing each of the four new members that they were going to be inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame. Mets owner Steve Cohen said, Howard Johnson was the classic combination of speed and power. With 3 seasons of 30 homers and 30 stolen bases, Al Leiter, who grew up in New Jersey, rooting for the Mets. Ranks in the top 10 in team history in wins and strikeouts. Mets fans are privileged to have two of the very best in all of baseball, describing the action with years of institutional Mets knowledge. Gary Cohen is set to start his 35th year of calling Mets games, and Howie Rose has been covering the team since 1987. In addition, we are honoring Jay Horwitz, who has passionately worked for this organization for over 30 years. 40 years, 40 years, with the Hall of Fame Achievement Award. I'm looking forward to celebrating more Mets history on June 3rd. Johnson spent 9 years with the Mets from 1985 to 1993, where he became one of the greatest third basemen in franchise history next to David Wright. He posted 30 to 30 seasons, the most in team history, while being a member of the 1986 World Series winner. With the Mets, he became the first switch hitter to join MLB's 30-30 club and ranks within the top 5 in franchise history in home runs, doubles, RBI, and stolen bases. Leiter was one of the aces of New York's 2000 NL pennant winning team, where he tied a career single season high with 16 wins and 200 strikeouts. He pitched 7 seasons with the Mets, ranking within the organization's top 10 list in wins, innings pitched, strikeouts, and quality starts. Up in the TV booth, Cohen has become a household name amongst Mets fans, as he has spent the last 16 years as the play-by-play man for broadcasts on SNY. He had worked in the Mets radio booth since 1989 before making the jump to television in 2006. Rose began calling Mets games on television in 1996 before making the transition to radio in 2004. And all right, so let's give some congratulations. Let's make some noise for Gary Cohen, Al Leiter, Howie Rose, and Howard Johnson for making it into the Hall of Fame, man. This is epic. This is big. This is very big for those guys, though, man. So let's make some noise right here, man. Yes. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's really dope. And I think that's gonna do it, man. I think that's gonna do it right here. Hold on. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode right here, man. And yes, so by the way, if you like to support this podcast, you can go ahead and make a charitable donation to my Cash App right here. I don't know if I could find it. Actually, I ain't put it on there. Yeah, you can make it. You can go to the Cash App. G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G, lowercase MONEY, capital S, lowercase TACKZ, 555. You don't have to have a lot of money to actually show support. You don't have to have a lot of money and be from a rich family to show a lot of support. All you need to do is do the best you can as a human being on whatever amount of money you decide to donate. Any amount will be appreciated, all right, to support this podcast and along with the other podcast shows that I do.
on a weekly basis. So there you have it right there. And yeah. So all right, let's go to our last segment of the night, which is stream choices on the go, is where I inform you on where you can listen to the episodes and where you can follow the podcast shows on social media. So let's get into it right here. Yes, you know what to do, folks. You like the sports topics that was being talked about today? You can show some love by following Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast on Instagram, which is the Sports Edition show, and the review show of Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, alongside with Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast on Facebook and Instagram, as well as myself, is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Turn on your notifications so you can see me in action on Instagram Live, especially during weekly episode recordings. And if you have any comments that you'd like to share in the sports topics that's going to be discussed, you can actually do that as well. You're more than welcome to do that as well. And of course, if you go to the link in bio, you're going to see a whole list of audio streaming platforms, including where you could watch the videos of each episode of the sports podcast that I started. And yeah, and in the link in bio, of course, you can leave a voice message on anchor.fm/GMoneyStacks0/message and support the podcast as well, man, through charitable donations. All right. And also, don't forget to rate 5 stars to Podchaser, Podfriend, and of course, Spotify. Don't forget to share the episodes and all that great stuff right there on streaming platforms. And speaking of streaming platforms, that's where we're going to start. Starting with Anchor, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM, Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podorama. Podorama, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and alongside with iHeartRadio, the #1 app for music, radio, and podcasts. And of course, be sure to follow Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the Sports Edition show, along with Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show, and Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast. That's also on iHeartRadio as well. So there you have it right there. Now hang on a minute. You definitely do not need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio and any of the apps that I just mentioned. All right. The links is there, but it would be more better if you download iHeartRadio and the other apps that I just mentioned onto your iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android tablets, of course, laptops, which includes Macs and Dell, Windows, as well on your laptops. Those are the laptop choices. Whatever one you have, you can download these apps there as well. And finally,
make sure you grab that subscribe button and click on the noni bell on the Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast sports channel page. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes, and of course, be sure to stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes in case you miss any of them. And be sure to listen, stream, watch the episodes, as well as sharing the episodes, sharing the videos, telling a friend to another friend, spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And of course, be sure to share the link that says Linktree/Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast along with the show itself with your husbands, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, friends, the people you are cool with from work or anywhere else where you meet new people, whether it's at festivities, parties, gatherings, whatever. All right. By the way, I am going to post some questions on the Insta story after I get off of here because I did make some questions on episode 50 and episode 52 and I believe 53. And one of the questions has to do with the MLB rule changes in baseball. And how do you feel about the rule changes? You feel what I'm saying? I want y'all to get your I want y'all to share your thoughts about these questions. And of course, how do you feel about the MLB changes as far as time constraints of pitchers, batters, you just name it though, man. You know what I'm saying? And of course, does it really discourage the players? That's where you come in and chime in the comment section. I'm gonna put those questions in the Insta story, and of course I'm gonna put that in the highlights as well, so you can actually be in the know and all that great stuff right there. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is right there. So thank you very much. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregoneer. Thank you very much for listening to episode 54, titled "Can't Take the Heat, Get Out of the Kitchen." It's the name of the episode regarding Kyrie Irving. And you know what I'm saying? And also remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. You want something, you have to work hard and you have to earn it. New York wasn't built in a day. You have to trust the process. It takes time to get to a certain level wherever it is, and all that great stuff right there. And remember, find something and look for something that hold on a minute here. Yes, find something and look for something that makes you smile, that you love to do, especially creatively, mentally, physically, and spiritually, that gets you into your zone on your P's and Q's alongside with tunnel vision. All right. And that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it, man. I appreciate every single one of you for listening, and of course viewing on the Instagram live feed of Instagram Live. And by the way, you can check out
you can check out the Fletcher twins on their show, A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words podcast on every streaming platform that you could think of. It's Spotify, your iTunes, your Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Potterama, wherever you get your podcast, and alongside with Pick Six with Noah and Nick, you can check out their sports podcast as well. That's also on Spotify and everywhere else. Check those podcast shows out. I guarantee I'm just a beginner of a sports podcaster. I'm just a beginner with 54 episodes whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? So that's more episodes than T-Pain's podcast, which I didn't get a chance to check out though, man. Which I know is pretty interesting too for me to check out, but I am gonna check it out in the near future. As soon as I get a chance to get the future upcoming episodes out the way, then I'll get it. Then I'll be able to check it out though, man. Because I know his shit is lit though, man. Anyway, man. Anyway, so you guys, the folks out there, have enjoyed the rest of your weekend. I know I will, despite the fact that I haven't had a phone for the past 8 days now. I'm going on day 9 now. But I know what I'm gonna do actually. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna take my phone to the phone shop and I'm going to actually see if I could actually get me a new phone, hopefully, depending on how things go, right? So I don't know when I'm gonna get my phone back on service. So we just have to wait and see. Remains to be seen. All right. And yeah. And like I said, so take care of one another. Make sure you reach out to one another to actually find out how they are feeling on the inside, because you never know what they might be going through on the inside. It's not about on the outside. It's about what's in here, inside their heart, or what's bothering them. So it's, sometimes you're not gonna always be there all the time, but it never really hurts to try to be there for somebody that that's going through some dark times or whatever. So yeah, remember that. All right, you can't put a price on time. You feel what I'm saying? All right, y'all stay liquid, man, and enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace and one love. Good night, everybody.